Salute, peace and power, peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows all things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people to struggle. As you come on in, please know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space for learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space for educating and being educated. This is a space for questions, answers, comments, concerns, conversation, dialogue, discussion, debate. This is a space of love. This is a space where we are consistently engaged in the task of assembling a united front on a path to true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please put all contact information in the chat for the duration of class. Please put all funding information in the chat for the duration of class. Fund this war effort. I mean, that is the standard language globally. As you do see and recognize, we are in the midst of World War III. So fund this war effort. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management assistance, please book an assessment. If you are already under the fold, please get your sessions in. Don't wait until you are the viral vid subject. Don't wait until you in the courtroom jumping over desk and stuff like that. Don't wait. No. Book your assessment or book your sessions. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, get it in. If you or anybody you believe is going through a domestic violence situation, book a consultation. If you believe you or anybody you know is in an intimate relationship abusive situation, please, man, book an assessment. Find out the alerts. Get knowledge on the warning signs. Please, the life you save could be your own. Yes, it could be your own. Excuse me. Yes, it is Friday. Yes, we have a lot to get in. Yes, this is a woman's up. As you know, we have different classes on this particular YouTube space. Got women up. We got men up. We have book club. We also have video breakdown. Then we have a few. Okay, and we get them in when we can, as much as we can. But today, man, I can't take it anymore. Tag any black woman you know, from grandma on down. Grandma, auntie, your broad, your wives, your side pieces, your nieces, your daughters, tag them in. Black women, this is yours. We have to get some clarity. We got to get in it. Discussion. This class has to be had because it is in a time and space where this shit has become ultra confusing for many men. And therefore, our nation remains stagnant. Are we protecting black women or not? Okay? We need to know. We need to know. So tag them. Your classmates, you don't see them here, give them a tag. Anybody And I'm just talking to my classroom assistants. Any of y'all seen Professor Drea, brown girl from Boston? I mean, I haven't seen, haven't heard, haven't seen any activity on social media from her. So if somebody got a direct line, give her a little nudge, a little wellness check. All right? That's how we do. That's why I always ask you to, make your connections within class. And even outside of class, build the nation. Exchange emails and numbers and all that with trusted people in the class. Because as you can see from my subscription numbers, which are consistently dropping every hour, this space may no longer be here soon. I mean, I'll be here in all reality. I got work to do. I'll be in the community. I'll be in the streets just like people see me on a regular basis. But as far as this space with the limited support and the limited subscriptions, it might not be here. Okay? So make sure that you connect with people within here so you can continue on, right, as we build in this nation. I have limited information on an incident that happened in East New York yesterday, where, from what I'm reading, they're saying it is a domestic situation, a domestic abuse or domestic violence. Somehow, I don't know how they are in the know of that, but a young woman, 24 years old, lost her life in the streets of East New York by being run down, a vehicle assault, and she lost her life. So it should be now a vehicular homicide, and they're saying it's domestic, though they don't have the driver, and they're searching. So to the family of that young woman, our deepest condolences, and we send universal healing and strength to you as y'all grieve and try to get some clarity on what's exactly going on there. Okay? But this is how serious it is. And this has been my yell. This has been my cry. This has been my shout for the longest. For the longest, this has been my shout. Like, yo, we need to be more attentive to our people, to our loved ones, especially when they have opened their circles to others. Okay? Especially our women. So this is why this class is so important. It is very important. I'm not talking about from the space of gossip. I'm not talking about from the space of false narratives. I'm talking about some very clear and concrete solutions to some of the misunderstandings that we are having in this space. So as we go through the thumbnails, we go through these certain spaces, man, I need as much engagement as possible when it comes to this. So as you're coming in, as you're sharing, as you're tagging others, as you're supporting, right? Please be engaged in this, because this is serious beyond conversation. Okay? It is. I will start with this initial story because I relate to this from recent experience. I relate to this story so much. And I didn't get triggered because, again, where we sit as Black men, there is a confusing element to protecting Black women, especially now, especially after this last decade because for the past century or so, as we always say, as I always say, there is no rites of passage for men, specifically our men. Damn the Euros and what they have constructed for themselves. But for us, socially, right, within our nation, the rites of passage from a boy to adolescence to what people view and deem as adulthood or manhood, it has been totally obliterated to the fact that you're supposed to be accepting, right, of your male family members, talking about now, shit, they are on par with the genitalia of a female. Like they're arguing you down that they can actually menstruate. This, and that's on the high end, and everything in between. There is so much confusion that if we don't get down to the root, if we don't get down to actually walking through solutions, man, y'all ain't, yo, listen, there's going to be a space that we sit in similar to the Civil War era time where the horrors, the lynchings, the atrocities that befall our people, yo, will be minor in comparison to the things that we're about to go through now. It's just that simple. Not conspiracy, not fear-mongering, just straight absolute facts. There will be no record of the things that's going to take place because we have been so tolerant and accepting of any goddamn behavior or treatment when it comes to us. So I want to start here with the tragedy of what took place at the University of Lincoln. I don't want to go all the way through, but there was this woman, doctor, right, who took her own life after what is being documented as bullying from higher up and peers in the administration of that university. Okay? Dr. Candia, right, that's her name? Candia Bailey took her own life after what co-workers, family members, and she herself has said have been a very, very tumultuous and mental health breakdown or mental health trauma caused by faculty and the environment of that university. My question, as with anything and anybody, especially when it comes to our people, is how do we protect each other in this space, right? How do we show the ultimate expression of love when we are an oppressed nation? The only examples that we can witness or research of a true, genuine love, has always resulted in the demise of our greatest and some of our lesser known individuals, from lynchings to imprisonments to straight up assassinations. Okay, straight up assassinations of people who have shown true, boundless love in our thoughts, words, and actions. So people are very hesitant, very, very hesitant to get a true grasp on what it is for us to be our own protectors. You have to have a very specific militancy in that context. You have to really be about it. And that means you are in perfect alignment in how you rebel against anything that's trying to diminish your potential to be greater. So this is where we come in at. But I just went through this. Man. Last year, between last year, it was going on for a minute. It was definitely pre-pandemic and during the entire pandemic. But I just recently, as a man, had to make specific decisions when it came to protecting Black women in an institution and surrounded by institutions that seemingly were all powerful. So, there was a space where she took the position of vice president this is in May 2023. This is recent. Her people noticed a change in her. They said she was the most giving person. She would drive 2 or 3 hours to get to you, to make sure you was good, to be right there for you, supportive in all ways. Even within her very demanding career, family life, and all that. Okay? Much like so many of our Black women. Which is why this new phenomena, this new dynamic, this relatively new over the past decade idea of selfishness, right? And nonchalantness when it comes to being viewed and actually moving in that capacity is kind of frowned upon by the women themselves. Sean, salute. Much appreciated for the green screen. Do you understand? Our women, I know my woman, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, I bear witness to them doing that consistently. Taking care of man, taking care of home, taking care of children, career-driven, everything. That's just who they were. So that's all I know. Coming up, even with my initial engagement into adulting and having relationships and stuff like that, even the women that I was around or was around me were always that giving, that loving, that concern. The change within that was sort of 90s, mid 90s-ish when I first started seeing, right, this nonchalant attitude of over sexualizing and not caring about being viewed as you know, thottish. We used to call them stunts, little stunt, like it was frowned upon as long as I was around, and then it got to a space where, in that acceptance of it, they began to believe that it was powerful. But hear me, this is what this woman was about. Very, very caring, loving, and we could see intelligent and accomplished in that space. And we'll get back to that because our women, our people in general, always believe that success is measured within those institutions, right? Of whiteness, these structures. And within those structures, those who are outside of it are viewed upon, even in the space where we are with our loved ones, are viewed as someone who doesn't understand or shouldn't be worried about what they go through in that. And I told you before, in Man Up and Men Up, right, in that group, that we have to get away from the idea that we as men should stand down to these institutions that have historically oppressed us: education, medical, financial, corporate, right? We're the only group of men on a planet that there's an expectation that when we step into these areas that we should be scared or frozen or hushed. And you got to get up out of that, especially when yours is in there. You dig? That's the only way we're going to be able to really unite. You got to get that shit up out of your space. Get up out of your energy and thoughts. So I say, damn a cracker, get out of here. I don't care about them old phase not one bit for nothing. We have to get in a space where that is forced out of your system totally, or you're going to forever linger in that garbage down there. So they said once she got this position, they seen a change in her, right? One of the people was quoted, I was literally just with her at homecoming and she was like, I'm just trying to make it through. Another friend said her whole demeanor had changed. Yes, she was still smiling, but you could tell that something was off. Something was different. And upon those noticings, right, if we were moving how we should be moving, that is when we all, or they all, are supposed to envelope her in revolutionary and rebellious love and really get into it, which is why I say when I am in these sessions, when I take on somebody under my custodialship, I'm telling you, I don't care what it is. Speak it. Talk about it. I need to know it, so therefore the message, the advice, the counsel that I'm able to give will be effective. It's just that simple. If you are coming to me and entrusting me in that form, then trust me. So we can get to a space where you will feel okay and secure. It's just that simple. So I don't know if she had that. But anyway, let's continue. Multiple emails obtained by someone close to Candia Bailey and shared with this news space and the board of curators outlining Bailey's request for family and medical leave, right? FMLA. I have a few people who make sure they take that on a regular, right? And Americans with Disabilities Act state that the relationship between her and Mosley went downhill due to her severe depression and anxiety. Additional emails revealed that when she made complaints about how she was treated to the board of curators, the board president wrote a response back to her saying in part, please be advised, right, that the board of curators does not, I repeat, does not, and will not be part of this complaint in a certain way. And again, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know these entities and I'm not trying to promote them at all, okay? But she also wrote that she was intentionally harassed and bullied, and that after receiving a poor evaluation, when she asked for help, Mosley ignored requests, failing to respond to emails, or when face-to-face danced around the topic. Now, this is an Ofe. This Mosley person. Okay? Now, after, and look, this is recent, whatever took place affected her to this degree. And I always tell people we never know the next individual's breaking point. As many of us don't even know the next individual's perception of themselves in these white spaces or in their space of their world. Our people have a very skewed and stagnant, almost retarded view of themselves within the confines of this world because we never, ever get to place our values as first priority in this shit. We just don't. So we kind of grow up in this funky little way of where we can only exist. We are only successful, right? Right here. In their arena. And as a being, as human beings, that shit is ignorant. It's going to cause you to be off balance. Scientifically. Right here. And here, you will be off balance. So no matter what degrees this person has, or that person has, no matter what position they have inherited or been given within these institutions and structures, you have to, in order to reach your potential, you have to have a vision of yourself. And within that, either agree with the values they put on you, or dispute how they are minimizing your worth and be what we consider woke, militant. There's no way you can survive straddling. You're either going to accept their dominance or you're going to be militant and fight. There is absolutely no middle ground. And our people suffer from that. Black women and black men, one and the same. And because we suffer through it, because we struggle in it, we attack each other. We dehumanize each other. From the most intelligent spaces to the ignorant entertainment, gossip, trivial bullshit. We become an enemy unto ourselves. So now, here this woman had to. There is absolutely no other way for us to explain she felt unsafe. She didn't have protection. She didn't have a team. She didn't have an army. And as such, this is where we are today speaking on that, right? Now, she said, one of the friends said the last time they talked was just hours before she passed away. I was in denial, quote. I'm like, no, you have to be mistaken because I just talked to her. I just got an email from her this morning. So I immediately started trying to call her. And of course, there was no answer. So when it was confirmed that it was really true, it was really bad for me and I passed out. I ended up at the doctor, she said. Now, this is this woman here is Lincoln University Alumni Association, current students. Oh, well, she is working with them and current students to have this Ofe resign. Okay? And this is sad. In her final email to this man, on the day that she unalived herself, Candia Bailey also asked for only select members of her sorority to be allowed to collect her things, saying Roseanne can speak with my family from the administration. You are not to have any contact. You cause enough harm and mental damage, speaking to the Ofe. And again, when you're saying that, she has family, she has sorrows, and she didn't see herself protected in that. She didn't see them or view them strong enough to protect her. Okay? This is the seriousness of what we're dealing with. I can't even tell you how many of my clients, how many of my black women feel totally alone in that space, in this space, in this thing, right, that they're calling life existing. I'm going to even tell you the percentage of the black women that I counsel on a regular basis have that same feeling. And I'm telling you personally, as a black man having to sit in a bullying situation with loved ones, being somebody who was able to exist in different spaces in my life, where I was in the street. I was also in school, college, and didn't only deal with my street people, right? I dealt with a lot of people who were in corporate America. I dealt with a lot of workers, Wall Street type dudes and women, and I firsthand, and even in the space of with my mother being a nurse, and then at one point being a traveling nurse, I always been that individual that upon hearing something and seeing the distress and the anxiousness of people who having to go into these spots being bullied, always stepped into action because I always knew that I was in the street. I always knew that you feel powerless because you have to go in there because that is how you're earning a living. So I always was the one to come through and take care of those problems. I can recall my sister-in-law being bullied, and she, we were in college. I think we was in BMCC, and after, you've been in school for a significant amount of time. Most of my people had jobs in high school and straight out of high school and in college and stuff. And she was working. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was no, it wasn't Macy, one of the Alexanders or B. Altman or one of them weird little retail spots. And this dude was consistently harassing her and bullying her because he liked her and she didn't like him or all. Shit was just getting weird. Whatever it was, he was threatening her and guess he made an attempt to take her jewelry. It was just something that was so out of pocket. And since I was always already in Midtown, digging pockets, strong arm barbering, or, doing what I was doing at the time on a regular basis, I decided that enough was enough, man. One time I was in the area and I said, let me go check this out. No alert. Just a quick pop-up. Popped up. She happened to be working. Hey, what's good? What's going on? No words. Seen an individual, for me, because I'm in the streets and doing what I'm doing, right? It's like when you look at the mafia movies and you see them in different spaces, and we have a different look because this is what we do. This is how we come through. We are already in go mode, harming, robbing. We know when an individual is tough or not. So, dude walked past, said nothing to her, then, and I seen her body language straighten up. Oh, that's the guy I was telling you about. Oh, okay. No doubt. That's him? Okay. Well, I'm out. I'll see you later. She breaks out, continues to work right there within the store. Right there. When he was a guest, I guess, going on with his normal activities of harassing people who are up under him in this little rinky-dink bullshit ass department store where somebody had put the authority of manager or supervisor over him. I kindly went to work. Kindly. Gripped him up under the neck, box cutter. You've been out of pocket, sir. I'm not going to say what else I said. When I do, right there, in the space where he believes that he is safe and all powerful, Fisticuffs, give them the business, let it be known. Don't mess with any of your employees. You got that? Simple. Left. Ask her later on how everything went. Oh my goodness, somebody gave him the business, yo. He left. I think he quit. Okay. From that point on, as long as she was in there, no problems. You understand? Simple. Simple. Because at the time, I was able to do it. At the time, I didn't view, and still not, I don't view Ofe institutions or establishments as shit. Nothing. At all. They're only as powerful as you make them. Now, more recent, again, my best half been in the New York City DOE over 32 years now. I'm telling you, the smartest, the most intelligent woman I have ever saw in that space. Bullshit you not. When it comes to curriculum building, when it comes to administrating, when it comes to shit teaching in the classroom, listen, top dog. Union rep, delegate, any of that. Specifically witness her from classroom to administrator to principal to almost superintendent. Straight up. But when I tell you the levels of stress, of disrespect that come with being a New York City Department of Education administrator, you have no clue. So in that support, in supporting that, listening and processing and hearing and taking time out to understand policies and things like that, man, I have to be as assertive as I am in establishing a shield of comfort around this individual, because the higher you go up in a lot of these institutions, the less you are able to defend yourself. Principal job gets snipped just like that. Superintendent could get snipped just like that. In those spaces, teachers, regularly have more power. Their union is way stronger than anything administrative. So you have to move a specific way. And there was a space where he had a superintendent that was, man, a decade and a half, almost damn near 2 decades younger than her. And as a Ferrari, no, see, I'm saying Ferrari, because I want to say sorority, but he, because he's a lizard, fraternity individual, and black, and he a lizard, alleged lizard to them. I know a lizard because I lived around him behind the wall. And people were like, well, why y'all call rainbow dudes lizards? And because they lizards. Because they're always on their belly. Quick moving and slithering around. Grippers in the air. Like a lizard. That's what they lizards. This lizard with a thing, AKA. Yeah, I think it's AKA. Yeah, these frat dudes. They all through the DOE. So if you're wondering why you don't get a strong black male presence and kids respond to a black male presence in education is because many of them are in the fraternity. And in the frat, you can see because they are dehumanized and effeminized, they run around like lizards. Ain't no kids responding to that. Okay? So in the space where this lizard was her direct supervisor, he began a bullying initiative because of her respect in the community. Because remind you that not only is she the most intelligent person I know, she come from the community. NYCHA houses, New York City Housing Authority, born and raised. And because of that, and being also hip hop, born and raised in the projects, hip hop, went away, educated in the HBCU, and came back and worked in the very same community, in the school, in the elementary school she went to. You understand? And have the respect of the parents in the community, others who come to our communities like Brownsville, East New York, Bed-Stuy, Hall, that don't know what it's like to be from the community, to work in the community, be engaged in it. They don't understand that respect and that allure and that love that others get from that. They don't get that. So this dandy went on a bullying campaign, even tried to deny tenure. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all know, if you know anything, you know how important that is. Tried to deny tenure. And me, as a black man, was consistently being told, yo, you got, no, when I'm talking, I'm venting. I don't want you to do anything. I don't want you, because of course, she know who she with. My work is documented. Trust and believe. I'm not a slow leak anywhere. In the street, behind the wall, wherever. There's no discussion. But in you telling me not to do or be my natural person to protect you, I gotta swallow that. And then I gotta be around this dandy who's fronting in the face publicly in certain settings. But I know that you are not only an enemy to the people, you're an enemy to the community, you're also an enemy to me. How do I take that as a black man? You see the confusion in that? Now, I can go do what I need to do, which is literally show up at doorstep and exercise my abilities, right? Whenever I want to. You really can't stop me from doing that. No one can. The only person who was able to really tell me to stall out, they're gone. As much as I love my mom to death, she didn't even have that. One of my crime partners was the only one, which is why we were partners running through, because he had that. I respected his word. And he said, nah. But other than that, ain't too many. That's why I needed therapy, so I can speak to myself and de-escalate myself. Because when I'm ready to go, I'm going. Simple as that. And then through trial and error, where I had to speak up in her behalf, I seen the automatic engagement of what they deemed right? Tools to, get rid of the threat. I see it. I see it all the time. So I tell y'all, different people work against us in our community, right? I don't care if it's a goddamn traffic agent. That traffic agent has the ability to call anyone that is on a higher level than them and that could cause you your demise. We've witnessed it. We've seen traffic agents get plucked out, and all of a sudden, you got somebody there, and these officers done beat down, arrested, or even killed people for traffic agent, for tickets, because that's how it got overblown. That these people who wear these uniforms and these badges and take these oaths are very detrimental. So, in the spaces where I had to show my fangs, I see it. It's immediate. Oh, okay. So this lizard was, consistently on a tirade. But again, because she's so intelligent and knows every level and layer, and I mean knows it, comprehends it to a different degree, she activates certain things and was able to back this person off. But as a black man, if I wasn't as intelligent and if I wasn't as diligent in being more than who I used to be, I would have felt crushed like a lot of our black men do. They just feel hopeless and powerless in the face of protecting black women. And when you have that and you help that, whether you are conscious of it or not, it builds walls, it creates walls where we just sitting here stuck. So it's this woman who we know is very accomplished. I mean, you're not VP of a higher learning institution such as Lincoln University. Like, come on. But you see where intelligence and position within these institutions does little to fulfill your spirit. And sometimes your mentality, and how the element of fear from an OFE, from the institution and the position where he's sitting, see how it can cause so much turmoil if it is allowed. So how can we, as a black person, as a black man, as a community, a nation, protect women like that? Come on now. You got to talk to me. Again, as you see, we're in the early stages of World War III. How do we move forward as a nation if we are having individual strife on these little surface levels of men and women, and then all these crazy narratives that we're watching on social media that is encouraged sometimes by black women themselves, who've been thrust into this space where they have high audiences and continuously think that the bullshit that they putting out is harmless. Or you don't have to listen to it, or don't watch it, or don't view it. Everything we do is an extension of our demise or our ability to sustain ourselves. Anything, everything. Everything. You understand? So I'm trying to get into these things because I get sick of seeing it. No matter how many people I delete off the timeline, no matter how many pages I unfollow, the ads that are coming through and certain things that even if I may have watched something in the past, is consistently being fed. And they don't do old phase like that. Trust and believe, if you have an old fake coworker, and I don't mean no down trying to be in our energy over, I mean a real true old fake, look at their phone. Ask them if you can see their IG and Twitter, and you see they don't get none of that shit in their timeline when it's pertaining to us. And when it's pertaining to them, you don't see the ignorant bullshit. You won't see it. You won't see the dumbass ads, none of that. So in that space, I'm always looking for the reasons so then I can counter it with solutions. And when it comes to our women, yo, it is just too much. It is too much pure ignorance being heard, ignored, tolerated, or accepted. And when it's accepted, they make an attempt to firmly put it in a space of truth when it's bullshit. So again, we're moving through it. And I'm making a very, very concentrated effort to speak on as much of it as I am able to sitting here with it. So I'm going to be moving a little quick. And again, engagement is necessary in this conversation. Women, y'all here. So if I'm wrong, if I'm not going in depth enough, pull it. Get it out of me. Pull it. Because I'm missing something. I'm telling you, I'm missing something. Even from where I sit here, where I sit in the community, in my practice. There's a level of dumbness and dumb shit that's being accepted. And I'm like, hold on. When I'm looking and witnessing and seeing these women who are supposed to be adults, I'm saying, what was the themes that allowed you as a person in adult form to believe in this dumbness? Have to. So now I'm looking at the shit with these women who are influencers from where, and I'm telling you, I don't know. I never heard of them. All of a sudden they're on the timeline and they're influencers. And I'm like, how? How? What? Where are they from? I'm missing something. And the first thing you notice, I notice, are these ones that are gifted these things. They're gifted a bag. They're gifted a car. They're gifted these homes. I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, Makisha, you already know. Much appreciated. Clyde Warren, much appreciated. Salute. So I'm looking and I get in the space where I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. So I just see one today and I'm like, well, who is this person? I'm looking, I'm like, is this name, her name is Janiyah, is it Janiyah Michelle? And I'm like, who is that? And she got gifted a Bentley. And then, you know how the mind works. I'm like, hold on. This is about the 6th or 7th. Okay, Melody, thank you. Much appreciated. Tell hubby, salute. Much appreciated for the green screen. And I'm like, I'm noticing 6 or 7 or 8 women with gifted Bentleys over the course of a couple of years. And I'm like, who are they? And why? And then I start to look at it and I see it. And I'm like, okay, you look just like the last one who was gifted a Bentley. You know, I'm looking at them, seeing a face full of Mac. And I'm like, that shit ain't Bentley-ish. And I'm looking at the goddamn baby hairs and shit all on the side. Looking like a goddamn jigsaw puzzle on your temple. And I'm like, well, hold on. When did that shit come back in style? As if it ever was. And it's getting to be an eyesore. And with the slicked ass puzzle on the side of your damn head, you get the fall or the braids or this other weirdness going on. And I'm like, okay. So now this is what has become standard for influence. And I'm trying to figure out, well, what the hell has she done? So I'm going a little deeper. And I'm like, what the hell? So you got the zigzag shit over here like a puzzle on the side of your goddamn head. And now you got the BBL or the fabric enhanced shape shit. And standing, and I'm like, so this is the black woman that get the Bentley, and I'm trying to figure out, well, where the Bentley at? Because I don't see him at all. Nowhere, and I'm in the Mecca. If anybody believes that New York City isn't the financial Mecca of this shit here, you're sadly mistaken. Park Avenue, Madison Avenue, Fifth Avenue, we see it all. I ain't seen none of these Bentleys yet. Or these women who are now dominating the timeline and the ignorance that come out of the mouth. So again, I don't know this particular lady or whoever gave it to her. And I'm looking who gave it to her. Oh, a baller. So now I'm like, okay, basketball player. Okay. So this shit, this cliche of opulence is not trickling down at all to who we are as a people and where we could be going. Serious. It's disturbing. So I'm saying, is that Bentley protecting us in our community? Is that Bentley protecting her and her dude in their space? I'm confused that this is a black woman, and there's several of them where this is the image and the projection that they're putting out to our people. So I got to go get me somebody like that in order for me to be successful. You got to have mad makeup. You got to have the zigzag baby hair puzzle shit on the side of your head, the goddamn wig, the BBL, and I'm good. She got the eyelashes and she got the bag. Now that's top notch. I'm winning. We winning now. Because she got the zigzag puzzle on the side of her head. Good. Let's go. And I'm saying, okay. So that's the black woman that is worthy of protection. No. So that ain't the black woman that's worthy of protection. Then I go further down because this is the baller, and then I see another woman being celebrated. The jury's still out. I don't know if you black woman, but she is in the space where other black women were or should be because she got black dude. So I'm like, okay, now this is another layer of it because this black woman or woman, this is Larsa Pippen, is dealing with Michael Jordan's son. And he ready to give her the Bentley and all that. But they're on a platform where they have a lizard, an old-fake lizard, asking about their sexual prowess. And she's saying, I get busy 5 times a day with Michael Jordan's son. So now I'm confused. Like, okay, so do we come to the aid of his son, who's the same age as her son? And I'm like, what is this in the realm of sports? So where do we sit in that? How do we pick up and move forward in protection of people who believe that that is where we need to be? So we in a space where we know the black woman wasn't protected in higher education because she unalived herself after being bullied. We're looking at these young folk believe in Bentleys and bags. And now it's like, okay, if that's the narrative, I'm not in agreement with that. I don't believe that that's protection. I don't believe that that is a space where I'm going to seek my liberation. And it's consistent. Then we get to another space and I'm watching someone being spoke of in a tone of blackness and greatness, right? Because of their work, their creative space. And I'm looking and it's like, oh, I know who this is. This is Angela Bassett. This is somebody who we've been watching them work in a creative space for 30 years. And they're giving her an honorary Oscar. And in that, we watch another black woman speak about her, present it to her, but at the end of it, we are only supposed to focus on this lip upon lip, embrace and kiss. And I'm like, wow. And as that is celebrated, the black man, I'm sitting here like, what is this? But in her, she is artistic excellence. Artistic excellence. So in that art, which is only a piece of her, I'm thinking, damn, there are millions of us who are not artists. So how am I supposed to take that? Am I to celebrate? Am I to acknowledge? Am I to ignore? Because it's right there that as an honorary Oscar receiver, the embrace, the kiss, the hold, the lip upon lip, this rainbow reaction with intent. How do I, as a black man, protect? I can't protect y'all in that. I know that that's Grippergate. We know that. We know about the Weinstein and Epstein. We know all that. All that is coming to full surface. So how Are we supposed to take that? This is so black women now. This is things that have to be spoken on. The arts, the athletics. Again, we went right there. We seen that this woman unalived herself in their institution of higher learning because of her bullying. I'm sure that Miss Bassett and Miss King have been bullied in that space because Taraji just said it. She cried and talked about the financial bullying. Right? We seen Jonathan Majors say he thought of unaliving himself. So we know that the entertainment space, there's no protection. The grippers are exposed. Literally. That's why I thought it was kind of off when Taraji was crying and making these statements and going viral because she just had her grippers out with Gabrielle a couple of months ago. You remember the sheer dress? They both had their grippers out. It was fine. So now in order to push this narrative and push the popularity of this movie, she's crying tears and it's unfair and the ceiling and blah, blah. But you just had your grippers out. It was cool. Y'all was all right. Y'all was buddy. Grippers out on the carpet, walking, shared dresses. So now you're over in this space and it's terrible. So when we're watching the embrace of Miss Bassett and Miss King, I'm thinking, hold on, man. Where do we sit in that as black men? Because if we critique it, then we're hating. We're misogynistic. We're too woke. Y'all gotta help. Y'all gotta bring clarity to this shit. Because this is what we're saying. This is what we're witnessing. None of it has anything to do with the liberation of our people. We don't see none of that. There's no work in none of that. In their celebration, in their awards, in their damn Bentley gifts, in none of that. Our people are knee deep in a mix of struggle to where we are being eliminated from the job force by migrants who don't even have documents. Straight up. Pushed out of housing. Immediately taken off of stamps and EBT for the slightest infraction. Oh, your kid missed a day and a half of school that they weren't supposed to miss. You off that. That these individuals who don't speak a lick of English, here, $1,500 of stamps a month for 2 children. Come on now. Where? Is the black man supposed to sit in the mix of that? Because these narratives, these pictures, these timelines are consistent and they're flooding, they're coming. And the man can only sit and wonder and be like, hold on. Where is my energy supposed to be utilized in this? And then watch this professor, this vice president, unalive herself. I'm watching a DA be called a thot because of her alleged behavior outside of work while she's prosecuting 45. Going at him like again. But do I sit and say, damn, man, wrong what they doing to that DA, but she's a DA. She sits there as a person who, through the manifestation of herself, will put people in jail. Straight to the plantation. This is where we at, man. This is serious shit. And where we sitting at, black women? For real. Where we sitting? And then all in the space of that, they said, well, you're supposed to love us regardless. Regardless? Make that make sense. Because we don't get loved regardless. We have to be Marvel heroes to get true, real love. We have to be woke. Right? We have to be providers in that wokeness, which is damn near impossible. Damn near impossible. We have to be balanced enough to code switch. You better be dynamite in a sack, or you ain't a man. And you gotta want to pay for everybody and everything at any given time. As we've seen in that falsely edited and bullshit narrative of a vid that just went crazy, where you have these people trying to chastise this man for not wanting to pick up a $700 bill. Y'all didn't see the fake bullshit in that, and how it was scripted and edited and off kilter and didn't even flow, but y'all made it conversation. Like, really? That's where black folk is at? Now, even after them saying I'm taking care of the birthday recipient and the wife, and even the birthday recipient said, nah, you're cheap. As the only man in the space you support. Really? And that's a conversation. That's what we're doing. We're going to allow somebody's clout clickbaiting vid to set a standard of behavior. This is where we at with it. So as black women, I'm asking you, in all seriousness, to bring some clarity to this shit. It's crazy. And in the mix of that, so now, okay, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do as a man. But on the flip vid, we got this chick who's poly. Right? And I'm poly, and in my poly circle, this is what I'm doing. With a chart and circles and lines and groupings of about 50 people. And then all her brownness stating that this is all right. This is how we moving. And we're supposed to protect that? The woman who's trying to encourage people through a video that they're supposed to be walking around as clinical research material because their box is about to just damn near explode up out of their centerpiece. And people are really running with this fake dumb shit as a pocket for what's real. Because if you poly into that degree and then you're going to want people to accept that as something that's good and right and exact, then you have to accept the other piece where you had this lizard talking about he had an outbreak and you allowed this deemingly heterosexual female to wild out on him. And that he know and she knew that this is how, you know, I'm a lizard. These are the narratives. This is the shit that we're sitting and facing. So we're accepting this poly woman because how she articulates herself. And then we're looking at this one crying because in their ghetto-ness, in their hood shit, which is deemingly viewed as real and authentic in their live and FaceTime space, this lizard is saying that I don't give a damn. I'm having these outbreaks and I'm in the hood wilding. Really? So as black men, we're supposed to just sit here and either ignore it and still be protective of it all. We're just supposed to be walking in a space of blackness and saying, it's all right, we got all y'all, and get on our back because we're going to protect you. Really? I want y'all to see how confusing that space is. You need to see it. So if you're poly, or if you are someone who believes that every black man is an athlete or entertainer, is going to pick up the bill and get you a Bentley, so you're poly with your box, you're greedy, we supposed to take care of your friends, you may, on the low, be giving your box to a lizard who's giving you an STD, that's okay. And in the same context, you got another dummy who's stating, y'all too good to work in fast food. Y'all niggas need to step up. When you're a certain age, don't work in fast food or in Target or in this and that. Even though, as disenfranchised as many of the black men are, when these spots is paying minimum wage at 16, 17, some soon to be 20 an hour, that ain't good enough. See, I speak to a lot of black men, so I'm not speaking to them. Today, these women, what are we supposed to do to protect you in a space where we're getting ready to be slaughtered? How are we supposed to forgive and forget all this foolish shit that y'all accepting as part of your being? And don't say you're not doing it, because this is your being. This is what's going on. This is what's causing the friction. It's not going on. Don't do that. Don't do it. It trickled down all the way through your generations to now when we got this booty hole brown, plump as hell, and they supposedly got the baby daddy face blocked out. Keep telling you that baby's supposed to be commercial rap Jesus. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's happening to the youth, and it's happening to those who are supposed to be of an adulted, responsible age. We got a nurse in Long Island, a nurse, bringing weapons and taking phone calls in this late stage in the Nassau County jail. This is a nurse. You mean to tell me it's that hard out there for a pimp that a nurse is dealing with a derelict behind bars? Taking phone call after phone call after phone call, bringing them weapons, giving them box. A nurse can't be out here in the street. Because why? Because her vision, her standard of where a black man is supposed to be, she not seeing it in the street. It's like I charge a lot of the black men for saying, these women ain't no good women. You so stuck in here, in your mind, and in the trauma of what someone has mistreated you in. And no, I ain't no black women. No, ain't no women. Now we're in that reverse space where these nurses are still doing dumb shit like this. This is where we at. A nurse still. Nurses are still, to this day. You just got knocked for that dumb shit. You still finding love in jail? Black women, y'all still in your professionalism, in your career? Still? That is the level where you going? It's confusion. It's confusing. How are we to protect? What are we to do? Why? Again, you fall. All this is up under the institutions of the old phase. Whitey, right there. That's their institutions. You falling up under it on the highest level. Right? We see it. I told y'all before. There is not a space in this corporation that they're calling a country. There's not a space where we are not. And in those spaces, the most prominent and quote unquote powerful and influential are the black women representing for them. So now we got Maxine Waters, we got Jasmine Crockett. They going off, going in. We don't benefit from none of that. How do we protect them? How? That's always the charge. Protect black women, protect black women. But y'all out of control with it. Out of control. Help me out. Help me out. From Booty Hole Brown to Scarlett in a space now with she and all the trauma that she went through as a young person, kicking a man out. Get out. He ain't beat the box. Get out. He finished too quick. Kick him out. This is the image you want. This is where you at with it. What's going on? Come on now. Come on. Don't act like this is not truth. Don't act as if I'm just pulling from thin air. We supposed to protect what? You got the baby hair zigzag shit on the side. All this is made up. Hair, lashes, BBL. That's the image that we supposed to protect and give Bentleys to and pay $700 checks for. That's where we at with it. And in the same token, you telling me that you can be poly and rock with lizards, even though y'all know they got outbreaks. How does any of that move us as a nation? How? I'll wait. See what I'm saying? Without our own, we have nothing. We have nothing. How? When you sit back and your highest point of existence, of being, is a constitution not made for you or us. It's a Bill of Rights, not made for you of us or any of us. How? How can black men protect that? It's a contradiction to your very existence. How can I celebrate? How can I be joyful when I'm watching young black women being influenced because a dude is a basketball player and could give you a... What is this? Where are we at with it right now? I mean, I'm just as honest. I'm just saying, where we at with it right now? Where sexually we're supposed to compete with machines. And in that machine, that you still want us to be better than the machine and capture your heart? Shit don't match. What are we doing as a people? How a woman moves, how a woman manifests, how a woman represents herself is reflective in that nation. So I'm saying, in all of this, where are you going? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you here? Okay, listen, all I could do is what I could do. Let's see. Continue to hold class, but like I said, y'all, I have come to understand the realization that this class is not going to be around. I'm telling you. I see it, I'm like, yo, damn. Every hour I'm losing 10, 15 subscribers. How can you lose subscribers? You ain't doing nothing. And support. So it's like, it's weird. But again, I'm asking for clarity. Because as a soldier, we have to have a firm understanding in order to put specific rules of engagement in line so that we can survive. Okay? So as always, don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Believe in my black woman to the fullest. But in order for us to move forward, we have to know how to protect each other. We have to, that's it. You have no war. You have no struggle without protection. You just don't. No way. Especially when you have already been conditioned not to be on the offensive. You gotta at least play defense. And they stripped that away. They stripped that away spiritually and in thought. Took that up out of you. You're no longer defending yourselves. Okay? You're not. Peace and power.